Okay, well, I just want to welcome everybody who is on. Tonight we have a special guest, Miss Brianne. I'm trying to think. We have been friends for a while on Facebook, but I guess the first time we really interacted was probably during the Elite Contender, like last year, trying to fight for Elite and all that.
Yeah, I think so. And then I feel like a lot of us all kind of got to know each other a little bit. And then once we did, I think our Fix Challenge, I think we all kind of were like, wait a minute, I remember everybody from last year when we were all super stressed and really crazy. And, that kind of became like our fun little group to kind of.
So basically that when the stream came out, there was like a 5-star, there's a group called The Wall, which is 5-star and above. And basically we're like, let's start our own 21 Day Fix Extreme Challenge, just with those who are doing 21 Day Fix Extreme, who are 5-star and above. And it was really, really awesome. I mean, I feel like I really got to know, some of the leaders in Beachbody. And then once we had Cancun come, we all got to – do you have your shirt on? I can't see.
I do have my shirt on.
Okay. Yeah. So we all, got our group picture together and worked out with Autumn and that sort of thing. So it was really, really cool. So I appreciate you getting on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Okay. So you are a 5-star Diamond, 2014 Elite, and a Success Club Legend, which means you have consecutively hit Success Club 10, 24 months plus?
28 months.
28 months. All right. So you obviously are doing something right. So I'm going to shut up and let you just kind of do your thing, because I know you're really good at speaking and just sharing your story and just being awesome. So
thank you.
Let's hear it.
Okay. I will go through my story somewhat quickly, because I feel like if you let me just babble on, it will take me an hour to get through my story. So I signed up in January of 2013. I actually signed up under my mom, who tried for 6 months to get me to drink Shakeology, and I told her no. And I signed up just to get the discount on my shake. That was really kind of how I got into this. And this is something that we use on our team. When I signed up, my mom had said to me, if you get 3 people to buy Shakeology from you, your shake is free. And I was like, really? Like 500 Facebook friends. I could find 3 people to order Shakeology. And that was really kind of how my whole business started. It was like, well, if I got 3 people, then my shake was free. And if I got 3 more people, then my husband's shake was free. And then if I got 3 more people, I'd make enough money to kind of cover my gas for the month. And that's really kind of how it started. And it just snowballed. And the reason I feel like I always want to tell that part of my story is because we talk a lot about the compound effect. And we talk a lot about how all of these little behaviors kind of add up to something really big. And what started out as me looking for 3 people to buy Shakeology from me, or order Shakeology or try Shakeology, really kind of exploded into this huge business. So there was a few things in the very beginning of my journey that really kind of set the tone for my business. The first was setting these really small goals for myself. The second thing was holding myself accountable, whether it was to people that I knew or people that I didn't know. When I signed up, my mom was a brand new coach. I think she was 3 months in when I signed up. Her upline is really big in Narium. Her upline has since quit. She's gone. But her upline really wasn't any help to her. And either her or I knew that we could go to our Star Diamond upline, who is now my sponsor. My mom had to quit because of a conflict of interest and came back, so she signed up under me. And her sponsor was kicked out of Beachbody because of her involvement with Narium. And at the time, I didn't know that I could go to my Star Diamond upline. So I really was kind of just left to my own devices. And my mom was like, I think there's training somewhere. I'm not really sure. And this was actually right before they did the Coach Training Academy. It was not long before they kind of put that into play. So I really was kind of at the mercy of Google and YouTube and trying to just figure out how the back office worked. And I started getting these emails in the middle of February about a team cup in March. And I was like, I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this is. And I kept getting these emails, and it was like, if you don't have a team, you can just put your name in and they kind of assign you a random team of people that you're coaching, that you're on this team with. And I was like, all right, I don't know what this is about, but there's prizes. So like, I don't know, maybe I could win some cool stuff right away. Like, let's see what happens. So I signed up and I was put on this team with these random people that I had no idea who they were. I ended February with 1 Success Club point. I'd gotten one person to buy Shakeology, and I was really excited about making my $30. And I remember sitting there and being like, I don't know who these people are, but now they're counting on me. Like, I can't screw this up. I have to figure out how I'm going to do this. There's 5 people on the team. I have to make sure I get at least 5 points. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I guess I'll just figure it out. And at that time, I was noticing a lot of changes with how I was feeling with Shakeology. My husband had been drinking it sporadically, but I had noticed that I was sleeping better. I still am a coffee drinker, but I was a really big coffee drinker. I was like a 5-6 cup a day coffee drinker. And I noticed that it kind of took that away from me, that I didn't need that. And I started sharing that, and I started talking about how Shakeology made me feel. And I didn't know these people, but I felt an obligation to them, that they were counting on me. And I ended that month of March with I think it was 18 Success Club points. And I say that not because it was my first full month as a coach that I worked and I got 18 points. I still couldn't tell you how I did it, but I had said to myself that I was going to hold myself accountable to doing it. And once I did it that first month, that just kind of became the standard for me. And I was like, well, if I can do this every month and hit this 10 points every month, my first month, there's no reason that I can't do it every month. And that really just for me became a non-negotiable. So that was a really huge thing, that when you really kind of believe that and you set those standards for yourself, I think that that's really important. And I think that that's really what, honest to God, 90% of this business is about. It's about your mindset and it's about your belief. And that's really what I want to kind of talk about tonight, is really changing your mindset. And I think that that's something that we all get stuck in, no matter where you are, no matter if you're a brand new coach, if you've been a coach for 2 years and you're not Emerald yet, if you've been a coach for 5 years and you're not Diamond yet. I think that this will help everybody, because no matter where you are in your business, no matter what your rank is, no matter what your volume or your income or anything is, it's something that we all struggle with. And I know once I hit 5-star, it was kind of like I got into the 5-star wall and I was like, oh my God, I don't belong here. I don't belong with these people. And I think that's something that I think we all kind of feel. I know every time somebody gets to the wall, we always kind of talk about it, how oh my God, I remember getting there, and you see these people that you kind of have really admired and looked up to and been inspired by. And it's a really big kind of reality check to be in the same kind of atmosphere with these people, because you don't feel like you belong there. But you know what? If you believe you do, then I feel like at some point you'll get to where they are. And what I really want to kind of talk about is how really to change your mindset and how to make sure that you're not letting that self-doubt, you're not letting that negativity within yourself really kind of take over who you are. Because everything in this business is belief. If you really set these goals for yourself, believe that you can achieve them, because you certainly can. I am somebody who really wants to prove people wrong. I'm a big fan of somebody telling me that I can't do something, because it really just makes me want to go out and do it that much more. And I feel like that was a really big driver for me in my business. We all have those family members who say that, Beachbody is a scam, it's a pyramid scheme. I mean, you name it. I've heard every excuse under the sun. And I have doctors in my family, and they still don't think that this is something worthy or valid, because you didn't have to go through 15 years of school, to kind of get to where you are. And for a while, I let that bother me. And I started taking that and turning it around and saying, you know what? they're telling me that I'm not going to be successful at this. They roll their eyes at it. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to prove every single one of them wrong. And I believed that I could do it. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I believed that I could. And I think that when you have that belief and you take that with the training that corporate offers, the training that your team has, Natalie is an incredible leader. I see her on the wall. And you follow what these leaders are doing. If you don't have that belief, that's your missing piece. And that's really what a lot of it comes down to. We put the rank of diamond on this pedestal that it should take a year to get to, because somebody said diamond was hard to get to. So because one person said that this is a hard rank to achieve, we automatically kind of shift our mindset to thinking that it's difficult, which makes it difficult for us to hit it. When we consistently see coaches hitting emerald, that's when we start to think that emerald is easy. But if we see coaches that are consistently hitting diamond, we're going to start to think that diamond is easy. And when you break it down into the small, consistent behaviors, you'll see how much your efforts compound. And it comes down to 3 different things. It comes down to your belief. And if you're somebody who struggles with belief, if you're somebody who struggles with being in that culture, if you're somebody who struggles with a negative mindset, some great books that I love to recommend for that are The Magic of Thinking Big. If you're somebody who really struggles with self-doubt, I was somebody who struggled with that for a really long time. That's a great book. The Energy Bus, if you haven't read it, it's fantastic. It's a really short read. If you listen to it, it's like 2 hours. It's a great book. That's the first thing, is belief. The second thing is the 3 vital behaviors. And I know we talk about this all the time. It's in everything. It's in every training, but they're there for a reason. And there's a reason that they're called the vital behaviors. We talk about when we go to the doctor and we take our blood pressure and we take our heart rate and we take our, our pulse, and there are vital signs, and it's vital to keeping us alive. And those 3 behaviors are really vital for our business. And it's kind of like this 3-legged stool that we have with these behaviors. And if you kick out one leg, the whole thing crumbles. And it's oftentimes that when you're talking about having difficulty with belief and having difficulty with the mindset that you're in, you're lacking on your personal development. I know for me, it was something I always slacked on. I was like, I don't need personal development. That's not for me. And it's usually the people who say that they don't need it the most. I feel like that's what we say. And it definitely was very true for me. I really just would kind of brush everything off and want to just say, this is just how it is. And things are always going to be crappy. Until I made the decision to change them. So that was a huge thing for me. And the last thing is consistency. And, that comes with the vital behaviors. It comes with your personal development. It comes with your belief, doing these small behaviors every single day. So there's a few things that I use to really help with my consistency. They may not always work for everybody, but I like to share what's worked for me, because for me, it's about really making sure that I make the most of my power hour, making sure that I make the most of my time. My husband works 80 hours a week. It's after 8. He's still not home. He's been out the door since 6 this morning. I have 2 little kids who go back and forth between, well, now it's camp and karate and dance and activities and everything else, and to try to run my business. So I really have to be focused with what I do. So there's a couple of things that I always try to recommend if you're somebody who has trouble with time management, if you're somebody who has trouble with really trying to focus. And I'm very much like organized chaos. So I always have like a million things all over the place. My desk over here is like a total mess. I really try to organize things as much as I can. So when we talk about inviting, there's a couple of things that we always talk about. We want to make sure that we're consistent with it. We want to make sure that we're always inviting to the business opportunity. We want to make sure we're always inviting to a paid challenge group. And the paid challenge group doesn't always have to be the program that's on sale. And I think that's a big mistake that a lot of coaches will make because it's on sale. The program that's going to work best for you is the program that you're doing. The program that you're actively using, that you're being a product of the product with, the program that you're getting results with is the program that you should be running challenge groups for. Julie Voris has a great video on the power of the program. I recommend everybody watch it. If you don't know Julie, she's fantastic. That's important. You always also want to be inviting to a free challenge group. You want to grow your circle, grow your market. I do a free one every month. I only do one. I don't do 9,000 different ones. I allow people to invite their friends as long as their friends aren't a coach, as long as their friends aren't actively working with a coach. I let them invite everybody in, and it allows me to help grow my circle very slowly. You can't be afraid to invite to the business opportunity. And I think that that's something that when we're not making $5,000 a week, we're afraid to invite to the business opportunity. The majority of the people on your Facebook page, I don't care if you're 20, if you're 40, if you're 60, the majority of the people on your Facebook page are not going to say no to making $500 a month. They're not going to. In this day and age, every dollar counts. So even if you're only making $100 a week, who cares? That's a car payment. That's groceries. That's your cell phone bill and your electric bill. And when you share that, you know, what kind of burden would that take off of somebody? What kind of burden would it take off of a single mom? What kind of burden would it take off of a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids who can't go get a job because it costs too much money to put 3 kids in daycare? You know, if they can get themselves healthier and they can make enough money to help their husband cover, you know, 2 bills a month or pay down some credit card debt, or Jesus, just make enough money to take their whole family to like a fair for the day, because that alone is expensive to do outings like that. You know, when you break it down like that, that's what real people want. Yeah, people want to see it. People think it's great to see coaches making $5,000 and $10,000 a week. It's amazing and it's inspirational, but it's more realistic to see coaches that are making $200 a week, $500 a week, even $1,000 a week, you know, after a year working part-time. So don't be afraid to share that, because that's going to inspire somebody, and that's what's going to cause that ripple effect. So think of the coaches that you've already brought in. What would have happened if you hadn't decided to invite them that day? You guys on the call, what would happen if Natalie just decided one day, you know what, I'm just not going to invite today? No, you guys wouldn't be sitting here. So think about that, and think about, you know what, I can go and I can send out 5 invitations, because maybe somebody won't see it right now, but 3 months down the road, maybe I'll change someone's life. And that's really what we're trying to do here. So don't be afraid to invite to the business opportunity. I know it's scary, but that's why we have all of this great stuff from corporate. I don't know, Natalie, if you guys do opportunity calls or webinars, but you can always invite to, there's always something that you can invite to. So that's super important. So you want to make sure that you're inviting. But the other half of that, the more important part, is that you're following up. Because if you're following up, you're doing more than probably 97% of the coaches in this network. And I think that that's really where we lose people, is we invite somebody and they say no, or they say, I'm not ready right now. And we just go, okay, next. And that's fine. But go back to them, because they may be ready in 2 months. Maybe they honestly just forgot. I mean, that's me. If I don't write it down, I forget everything. So great thing that I like to use to track my follow-ups is an app called Asana. I don't know if any of you have heard of this or know it. It's fantastic. I don't know if there's an app for it on the Androids, but there's an app for it on the iPhone. You can use it on the iPad. You can use it on the computer. The great thing is that it all syncs together. And I love it because I can name all of my tasks as people, and I can kind of take notes on them. You know, so-and-so is interested in the 21-day fix, but she's got to get brakes on her car and she's not ready for it right now. And, you know, she said, circle back to her in 3 weeks. So what I can do is I can tag her with the 21-day fix. I can put a due date on it for 3 weeks out, so that when I log into the app in 3 weeks, it'll tell me who I have to talk to, who I have to follow up with that day. And then when the 21-day fix goes on sale again, if she still hasn't picked hers up, I can just click on that. It'll sort everybody. And I can kind of circle back around to all of these people and say, you know what, you missed it last time around. Now it's back. Let's not miss out on it this time. So that's a great thing for me to use as I follow up, because I'm always busy. I'm always running around. And for me to have it on my phone was a great thing if I was sitting, at karate with my older one, or I was sitting outside preschool pickup and I just had 15 or 20 minutes. I was able to fire off, 4 or 5 quick follow-ups on my phone because I always had my list with me. The other thing that I love to use, because if you're somebody who is distracted by the Facebook scroll, get away from it. Would I mind spelling that app? Asana, A-S-A-N-A is how you spell it. You can get it on the App Store for your iPad or your iPhone. You could just go to asana.com on the computer. And I'm pretty sure there's an app for Google. I'm pretty sure there has to be. So if you're somebody like me who is like crazy distracted all the time, and you want to stop the Facebook scroll, you can use this plugin for Chrome. It's called Feed Killer. And when you log on to Facebook, it hides your feed. Let me see. I wonder if I could share my screen here. Let me see if I can do this. Natalie, will this let me share my screen, do you think? Let me see if I can share it.
Let me see. I can probably manage. Let's see.
Oh, yep. Wait, there it is.
You got it?
Yep. Let me see if I can do this.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. I'll show you guys this really quick.
Awesome.
Okay, so can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
With my Facebook. So this is on Chrome. So like I'm in an event now that I made for our call next week. So if I was to hit home, so my feed's gone. So your news feed is completely gone. So, see, there's everything else. So it'll load all of your groups and it'll load your messages, but you can't see your news feed to scroll it. So this is something that I always use when I'm trying to get through my messages, when I'm trying to follow up with coaches, when I'm trying to check into all my groups. And then I just use Safari to scroll my news feed once or twice a day to kind of go through anything that I may have missed on my little follow-up lists of people that maybe aren't on my little interest lists or anything yet. So if you use Chrome, you can go to like the Chrome plugins or whatever and type it in. It's like Facebook Feed Killer. And it's a great thing to use because it really helps me kind of focus on what I need to do. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Was there anything specific, Natalie, that you wanted me to go back to, or do you guys have questions? I feel like I just kind of like rambled for 20 minutes.
No, it's great. I love, again, that, you did sign up for the discount and you didn't have an upline per se. You didn't have anyone that, you felt you could go to. You didn't know at the time that you could go to your Star Diamond. And you just figured it out. You just kind of said, all right, if I'm going to make this work, I need to just Google, use what resources that you have at your fingertips. And you did. So I think that's huge. I think we're blessed, have a good team. We're there to support each other and that sort of thing. Sometimes it's good to just not have, if you can just put the blinders and just kind of go and just, use your resources. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that a big thing with this business is that everybody in this network is so different and we all learn so differently. For me, it was, I can't figure this out on my own. What am I going to do? I'm just going to try to find a way to do it. And that's just my personality. There's a lot of coaches that are on my team that need that daily check-in. They need something to do every single day. They need the list to say, here's what you do day 1. Here's what you do day 2. Here's the order that you should do all of these things in. And that's great too. And the beauty of it is that, as leaders, we have access to the best training in the network. We have the ability to learn from superstars, learn from the people in the Millionaires Club, learn, what they did. And we're able to share that with you guys. And for me, I'm happy to do it because I don't want my coaches to have to kind of struggle like I did in the beginning to really kind of find my feet and say, I don't know how the hell I'm going to do this. I'm just going to have to figure it out. So I think that, in that sense, being where we are, we're very, very blessed. We have the wall and we have access to corporate and we have access to all of these trainings that corporate provides. But I think what, to me, is the most beneficial for us is we all have this private study group that is run by a couple of coaches in the Millionaires Club, and we don't let corporate in there. And it's really to kind of talk about how to help our teams best build their business. If you're building for volume, if you're building for rank. And this was a recent group. The guys just started it 5-6 months ago. And it really has become something that is really an asset to all of us because it helps us help you in such amazing ways to help you guys really build your businesses to make them successful and really make them sustainable. To me, that's like my favorite part of this business is learning from these people who've really just been around, made infinite more mistakes than I think we have, and really learned from them and tried to help us. So, that's kind of where we are now, is to really help you guys so that hopefully you don't make all the bajillions of mistakes, that we did. When I signed up, I didn't know anything about placement, and I started just placing coaches like I did my right and my left. And then I went like 1, 2, 3, 4, like right across, because I thought that's how I was supposed to place coaches. Bad idea. Don't do that. Thankfully, nobody hates me for doing it, but don't make those mistakes. And the only way that you learn from them is to really kind of make them.
Yeah, like my husband's on my strong.
That's okay though. I don't have a strong leg. Mine are kind of balanced. So he just kind of hangs out, wherever he is, but it's better than not having him there at all.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I want to open up the line. I know that there probably are questions. Maybe you want to pick your brain, that sort of thing. Everybody. All right. So I'm echoing. Does anybody have any questions for Brianne? Oops. Okay, we're all unmuted except Jen here. Don't be shy. Anything at all.
I have a question.
Okay.
So I was thinking about what you said when it comes to how can you really present the coaching opportunity as a way to help people make extra money, like paying bills or extra field trips and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still trying to kind of navigate what that looks like, because what I've run into lately is a lot of people are having allergic reactions to Shakeology. So that's been like a stopping point for me. But it's really just that 50 personal volume in order to move forward, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe if I could start talking about if they want to get on the slimming pack or like the multivitamins, and that could be a really good way for them to get started. And then maybe that's less of an investment on the front end, but then they're at least meeting the minimum.
So what I do is, so there's a few things. There's a couple of things that I kind of always want to ask when somebody tells me that they're allergic to something in Shakeology, because honestly, my first instinct is to kind of roll my eyes at it. Because here's the thing. I always ask them what flavor they're drinking and how they're making it. And here's why. People will order regular Shakeology, which is obviously a whey protein, which is dairy. They are not milk drinkers. But then they mix the shake with milk for 3 days and they're sick to their stomach and throwing up from it because they have too much dairy, too much lactose, too much of all of that stuff that their body isn't used to having. And then they say they're allergic to it. So that's always my first question, because I've had that happen on more than one occasion. So I say, well, try a half a scoop, try it with water. It's very rare that I would run into a ton of people who are allergic to things in Shakeology. I feel like the most common thing that people are allergic to that's in Shakeology are people who are allergic to mushrooms. That's usually the biggest thing, but that's even very, very rare that I see. My first instinct would be to tell them to try a vegan formula if they have a problem with any kind of dairy, lactose, a milk intolerance, which could be a lactose intolerance, it could be a casein protein intolerance, it could be any one of those things. So my first instinct is to always say, try the vegan. The second thing is I would never enroll anybody with 50 PV. I would have them order a box of Shakeology packets and a program that they're interested in, or access to the on-demand so they can try our catalog of workouts, and let them run a 5-day Shakeology challenge and sell off the packets, or let their spouse try the packets. Let friends and family sell them for $5 a piece, making money back on box packets. And then, yes, if they chose to not drink Shakeology, then they would have the option of they could do the slimming pack, they could do the refresh with Shakeology, they could do a handful of other things. When the performance line comes out, they'll have the option of using that on Home Direct next month to get their 50 PV, things like that. I know, I'm so excited for it. So, and the other thing is in the beginning, if they just get a customer order, that'll cover their 50 PV. That's from you or a customer. So until they found the performance line, or until they found something like that, that's a great option.
That's a good question. Real quick, I know that you are in love with the performance line. Do you want to give a quick opinion? Because they've only heard me talk about it. So
I'm somebody who's used supplements, and it's really, I'm going to be very honest with you guys, and I'm not like bullshitting you at all. It really is the best on the market. I've used supplements for a couple of years now. I've always used them through using Body Beast, which I've been doing for the last 6 or 8 months. These are by far the best on the market. And I don't know, Natalie, if you watched the webinar, the science behind what's in this line is mind-blowing. To see what went into it and why certain things went into it, and things that are in all other supplements, but they're not in ours, and why they're not in ours. I was nerding out watching it. I couldn't get enough of it. It's really unbelievable to kind of see the science behind what went into this. Really just how I've been able to feel through my workouts. If you guys are E&E users, if you're people who drink the R&R, I just would say hold on to your hats, because you really have no idea what's coming. It's simply unbelievable.
Very exciting. It's going to be humongous. And we're both, Paul and I are we just can't wait to get our we're out now. Or what the heck are we, it's awesome. It really
it's great.
So that's going to be your answer too. If people can't do the Shakeology, there you go. Boom. Performance.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anybody else? I've got everybody on mute again, but I'll unmute you. If you have anything, just maybe raise your hand, I'll unmute you. I know somebody does. Okay. Going once. Going twice. Oh! Ah. There you go. Oh. There you go.
Okay. Sorry, you were trying to unmute me and I muted it back. Okay, so I am going to be meeting with someone tomorrow who is wanting to not only get healthy for herself, but for her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, because they both want to try Shakeology, I'm going to try the coaching, present that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advice? And it's going to be face-to-face.
It's going to be face-to-face? Okay, so are they both planning? Are they planning on both of them getting healthy together?
That's what it sounds like, but I'm just talking to the wife.
Okay. So if you want to present it as the coaching opportunity, that's somewhere where I always would present it as a discounted option, because when you're getting 2 bags of Shakeology, that's a $60 savings. My mom has some crazy clients who don't want to be bothered with the discount and will gladly pay full price for 2 bags of Shakeology a month, but we don't all have that luxury of throwing $50 away every month. I know I don't. So what I do is I break it down for them. And especially if you're sitting down with her, that's a super easy way to do it. What I would do is if you have like one of your invoices from your Shakeology box, bring it with you and show her. And if you have your laptop or your phone, bring up the website, put a bag in your cart at retail, not do it one time. Don't do an auto ship. And show her the difference and say, look, here's what you would pay for one bag of Shakeology. And then multiply it by 2 and show her, put 2 bags in the cart and show it to her. Show her your price and then say, you'd have one fee at the moment of $15.95 a month unless her spouse is a veteran, in which case that's waived and it's a straight 25% discount. And I always say, you know what? I don't know if this is something that you're interested in, but for me, and this is true, for me when I signed up, my husband had been out of work for 12 weeks. Earlier that year before I signed up, and we had paid off all of our cards and we ran up every single card, maxed them out all over again because we're a one paycheck family. And when that one paycheck goes away, you're screwed. We had just enough disability that it put a roof over our head. It paid my mortgage and my electric bill, and that was it. And hand to God, I will never be so thankful for that because his disability policy that paid our mortgage went into effect on March 1st and he got hurt on March 4th. Yeah. So I was very thankful for having that credit card debt because I would rather have credit card debt and a roof over my head than lose my house when we had a 4-year-old and my little one was 4 months old at the time. So for me, that $30 was a make or break. I mean, that was really the difference for me in being able to drink Shakeology or not. And I factored it right into my grocery budget. I cut out going to Starbucks for $5-6 a couple times whenever I was in Target. I stopped, doing anything extra, stopping with the kids, like at Wendy's for French fries on the way home or something like that, stopping for Frosties. And for me, that $30 was a big deal. And I think for a lot of people, that extra $30 it's an extra tank of gas. So if you can just most of the time, if you show them the numbers, and then a great thing that I like to show is Tony's video when he's at the supermarket with the Shakeology, and it shows you all the stuff that's in Shakeology for the price that you're getting. And there's really nothing that you can kind of compare that to for $3-4 a meal. But I'd show her that. I'd pull up the website and put some bags of Shakeology in my cart and bring one of your own invoices with her. Hey, look, this is what I pay for my shake. And this is what it would be if you guys bought 2 bags at retail.
Okay. Sounds good.
Good question and good answer. All right. So we're about almost 40 minutes in. So I'm not going to keep you. I know you have another call to do. So if anybody else has anything, we have a couple more minutes and then we will call it a night. Anybody? No? Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. And
thank you for having me.
Yes, and all of your great speaking and everything you had to say. It was awesome. So really
thank you.
And I can't wait to see you next month.
Yeah, a couple weeks, right?
Oh, yeah, a few weeks.
I'm sitting here doing the whole schedule for the week, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get to everything, but I feel like we'll just figure it out. Somehow. So, but I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Is everybody on this call going to Summit? Say yes, say yes.
Yes.
You guys have to go. Well, I'm sure that I will see some of you, hopefully, at Summit. I feel like it's going to be so crazy, not in Vegas with so many people. Good. But yeah, thank you for having me. Thanks, guys, for taking the time out of your night to listen to me.
Yes, thank you.
Babble. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye. Love y'all.
Thanks. Bye.